All right, hello again, everyone. This is Jeff Scott, formerly of Rankin Technical College, and on my YouTube channel, JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, and in particular, the YouTube playlist, Jeff Teaches Programming-Python. I've created a little less than 30 videos so far, and all of them that I've done up until the last few have been non-object oriented. And in fact, I created a simple payroll example that I did using Python lists, Python dictionaries, Python tuples, and Python sets, but they were all non-object oriented. So I'm going to go back now and I'm going to rewrite all of those and make them object oriented. So what I've done is I've gone in here, and for each one of these, I copied the file I had before, but I called it main.py. But it's the same comment, except rather than saying a non-object-oriented program, I'm saying create an object-oriented program. All right? And write each input as its own function, and here, use object-oriented programming in this program. All right, so this one right here, let's see, this is tuples. So let's go and close that one. Just so you can see all of them here, I just created this file folder. This is Python Payroll OOP. So here is the one for lists. Again, create an object-oriented programming, use object-oriented programming. So there's that one. Let me close that. And let's see, what else do we have here? Here's the dictionary one. Again, create an object-oriented programming and use object-oriented programming. And what else do we have? So this one was dictionaries. Tuple, I think I already did. All right. Object-oriented. Object-oriented. So we can close that one. And finally with sets. All right, so you can see all of these right now. All right. So I can close that, and I can close that. There we go. All right, so it's time to go in here, and like I said, let's bring up the first one. Just do these in order. All right, so that's all that's in there, exactly what I just showed you. So let's go in and bring up the whole folder. And we'll bring up the whole folder with code. And I'm going to start writing. So we've got main, should be in here. There it is. All right. And I'm going to actually have two other files in here. I'm going to have an employee class. So I'm going to put employee.py. And I'm also going to have an employee manager. So I just called it employee mgr.py. So I've got those three files. Now I'm going to do main first. And it's going to give me an error because I'm going to try to import something from employee manager, which hasn't been created yet. Don't worry about that. That's totally fine. Let's see if I can pretty this up a tad here. All right, so let's come in here and do this. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, I'll probably get an error here, but I'm going to import employee MGR as, and I just called it emp MGR. Now, it's gray right now because I'm not using anything from it. All right, and that's totally fine. So I'm going to put a main in here. So I'm going to def main. All right, and I'm going to say MGR equals emp MGR dot employee MGR. Now that doesn't exist yet, so don't worry about that. It's totally fine. All right, what I want to do is I want to come in here. This isn't real long, but it's over 100 lines with the comments and the like. But in here, just like I've been doing in previous examples, I'm going to create my menu. All right, so I'm going to say here, while true, print, and we're going to have, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to put this in here. I'm going to copy this print line. Don't worry, I'm going to get errors on all of them. All right, so I'm just going to start putting these in here. And for some reason, I think it's screwed up here with the tabbing. It is. There. All right. No, it still doesn't like it. Doggone it. All right, so while true, and I'm going to put in here, you know, employee management system, Python lists. So the next time I do this, it'll be employee management system, and it will say in there Python dictionaries as an example. Okay, now what doesn't it like here? All right, these should all be moved over one. There we go. All right. Now I don't know what's the problem here. I think inconsistent usage. Well, hopefully this will work its way out in just a bit. All right, so let's keep going here. Yeah, that one was screwed up. Okay, so one is going to be to add a new employee. Two, now I could put F strings here, but there's no variables I'm printing out. So I'm going to say clear employee list. 3, copy employee list. 4, count number of employees. 5, get employee index. 6, insert new employee. 7, pop existing employee. 8, remove, 8, remove existing employee. 9, reverse employee list. 10, sort employee list. 11, display employee list. And 12 will be exit program. All right, so that's everything. All right, and then I'm going to make a choice, so I'll say choice equal input. Please enter a 1 to 12 now. All right, there we go. And now you know it's possible they're going to enter something that's not going to be a 1 to 12. All right, but that's okay. We're going to try to handle that down here. So we'll have a try. And what we're going to say in here basically is we're going to have to account for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So did this one a little bit differently because I've been playing around with these for so long and writing kind of the same program a bunch of times here. If choice equal 1. Now I could have said int there and converted this to an integer and then used the number 1 without the single quotes, but I just did it like this. All right, so I'm going to say here imp number equal int input enter unique employee number. All right, and I'm going to put in about 5 or 6 of these. So let's just copy this. All right, then we're going to have first name is enter first name. Then we'll have last name. And that will be enter last name. And then we'll have hours worked, which means that I'll move these over. We'll put a little hint in here, and I could end up using something else, but I'm just going to put in here 0.00 through 84.00. It's always nice to let the person running the program know what you're looking for. And hourly rate, and that'll be equal or to hourly rate. And again, we'll put in here 0.00 through, and this is 99.99. That's just an arbitrary number I came up with. Nothing special with it at all. All right. Then I'm going to say mgr dot add employee, and I want to add the employee number, the first name, the last name, the hours worked, and the hourly rate. And you'll notice that as I've done that, these that were gray before, none of them are grayed out anymore. All right, that's if it's a 1. That'll allow me to add a new employee. Else, it's elif choice equal 2. Now, a couple things about this. First of all, I don't need a space here. Oops. Okay, I can do it like this. It'll work just fine. The other thing too, all right, so that's okay. I don't, as you can see, I don't need a space, and if I do put a space in, I don't need the parens. I like to do it because most programming languages expect you to write your code like this, and that's why I'm writing it like that. All right, if it's a 2, that's all we're doing if it's a 2. And remember, this 1 is add a new employee, 2 is clear employee list. And that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it here. If it's a 3, we'll call this copied list equal mgr dot copy employee list, and then we'll print it out. Print, and here we are going to put in an F string. And all I'm going to put in here is just the first name and last name. We can put in whatever we want, of course, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do it like this. And I'm going to put in here I'm going to be getting some errors on this for the thing, the emp dot. It will be fixed. In fact, let's come in here and do that now. So we're going to say emp. Where are we? We're on 3. Oh, we said that already. Copy list equals mgr copy employee list. We got the first name. We got the last name. And we're going to say here for emp is copied list. Okay? Basically what we're saying here is go through the entire copied list and print out the first name and the last name of everybody who's on there. Okay? elif choice equal 4. Current number of employees in list, and we'll put in here mgr.count employees. All right. If it's a 5, it's working with the employee index. All right. So far we've handled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's the first half. That's these. So this should allow us to add a new employee, clear the employee list, copy the employee list, count the number of employees currently in the list, get an employee index, insert a new employee. Well, that's the one I'm working on now. Then we'll do popping and removing, reversing the list order, sorting the list, displaying the list, and exiting the program. Okay? All right. Now this is an insert, so it's kind of long. In fact, it's kind of what we did before in here. So I'm going to just grab all this. But this is adding a new employee, which is going to automatically add it to the end of the list. But now we're going to have something, I'll just call it position equal, and it's where do you want to add it in the list. Now, I was just looking at this, and one thing I should do is be consistent. So I should use all upper, my caseness, etc. Notice these are all in uppercase, the first letter. So I'm going to change this to enter unique employee number. Whoops, not first. First name, last name, hours worked, hourly rate. Then this is just in what's coming out and what's printing on the screen in the prompt. So I'm just trying to pretty it up a little bit. Copied list. I'm going to leave that alone. Current number of employees. Enter an employee number. Enter position to insert into list. All right, after I put that in, I've got all that same stuff we had before. In other words, enter an employee number. All right. Enter a first name, enter a last name, enter an hours worked, and enter an hourly rate. This won't be add employee. This will be insert employee. All right. And then when we get done, we didn't do this before, but it would have been kind of nice. So after we add it, we'll say print employee has been added into list. Okay. Copy. And here we're going to say employee has been inserted into list. All right. All right. Next, we've got pop. Now, wouldn't it be kind of nice when we're writing this to let the user know what's going with what? So one was add a new employee. So let's put a comment here. All right. 2 will be clear employee list. 3 will be copy employee list. 4 will be employee list count. 5 will be employee list index. 6 will be, we call the other one add new employee, so we're going to call this one insert new employee. All right, we're up to 7, and this will be pop existing employee. All right, working working without a battery on my battery here, so let me plug that in. There we go. All right, so yeah, we didn't give it. All right, I forgot the semicolon there, or the colon, I should say. Okay. And let's let them know which one they popped. So we'll put an F string in there. It's kind of nice. All right, we're up to 8, and this is remove existing employee. All right, we'll just put in here print employee removed from list. All right, we're up to 9. It's hours worked. These are all emp dot. So I'm going to be getting these from emp. You're going to see that in a bit. Okay. All right, so that's 9. And got a little tricky here. I decided I wanted to let you sort this in by different fields. So you can sort by number, first name, last name, hours worked, hourly rate, or gross pay. And you can sort in regular order, in other words, in ascending order or in descending order, just to be a little different. So if you put in a 1, it'll be by employee number. If you put in a 2, it'll be by first name. A 3 will be by last name. I don't know why you'd want to sort it by first name, but you could if you wanted to. A 4 will be by hours worked. A 5 will be by hourly rate. And finally, a 6 will be by gross pay. See why that looks funky like that, but we'll see if we can figure it out. All right, no paren. There, go away. There we go. All right, so those are our choices. Reverse, we could call it whatever we want, but I'm giving you the chance. You know, I could have called it descending, but I just call it reverse equal input sort in descending order. Again, I'm trying to be consistent here. Sort by. That I'm going to leave the way it is because that's the field names. So this is going to say sort in descending order, Y or N. And if that's equal to Y, so if you make it a little y, I've shown you before how you can check for capital and lowercase. I'm not going to do that right now. Create a dictionary here. These are just all the fields we have, so. And again, there'll be 6 of them. see where I am for time here. I'm doing great. All right, so 6. Okay. All right, so this again will do it in either ascending or descending order, depending on what I suggested or asked for. All right, so this is 10. 9 was reverse employee list. Never put the colon there. There we go. And 10 is sort employee list. All right, so I'm up to 11. And for 11, oh, I'm missing something on the other one. We'll fix it in just a minute. This is going to be display employee list. That is going to be to exit the program. All right, let's go back to this. We've got our sorted employee list right here. And we'll have to print out. So for emp in mgr.employees. And let's print it. I think I did that already up here. I did. Probably could come back and write a function to do that, but it's not that much code repeating. All right. Otherwise, if it's an 11, this is the display. So I'm going to just basically do this. Probably should, I guess, write a function to do that. But all right, for 12, exiting the program, that's just going to be print. And I didn't have to do a print here, but I did. Normal program termination and break. In fact, we could just do an exit there, I think. I did a break, but I think that'll work. All right, we're almost finished with the first one of 3. All right, else. So that handles 1 to 12. So this would be input that was not 1 through 12. So if that's the case, we're just going to print invalid choice. Please try again. All right. And if any of these things in here, I'm getting that error on the try because I'm not doing anything with the try. But if any of them didn't work, we'll put an except and we'll have a value error as E for error is fine. Print, we'll just print out the error. All right, that's it for this. Now I just want to call it. So if name and of course those should have been underscores. All right, it looks like I might have an error right here. Let's see if we can figure out where that is. That should be MGR. I think that's it for errors. Now, none of these are functional yet, but I want to see if I save this, if my menu is going to print out. So File, Save All. Let's try to run this and see if we get a menu. Again, I could get an error here, and if I do, we'll fix it. And of course we did. Oh, we've got this because we don't have that yet. It says we have no attribute employee manager. So let's see if I comment that out for now, which I don't want to do. I want to uncomment it right away, but well, it's going to lead to other errors. So let's just write the employee here, and let's write, these aren't nearly as long. The employee is only about 30 lines or so, and the employee manager is about 40 lines or so. Okay, so let's write these. So let's do a file one more time, save. Let's go over to the employee. All right, I'm going to add some constants here. Get rid of this. All right, so I'm going to put in here some program constants. These are going to be the same ones I've been using. Min hours equal 0.00. Max hours equal 84.00. Min hourly rate equals 0.00. Max hourly rate equals 99.99. Our max non-OT, so the most hours you can work without getting overtime, is equal to 40.00. And our overtime rate is equal to 1.50. All right. So this is where we're defining the employee. Okay? What do I mean? Well, this is going to be the employee class. Class employee. So this is the first time we're working with a class like this in these examples. And we're going to put a def underscore init underscore underscore. Always have to pass in self. We'll pass in an employee number, a first name, a last name, and hours worked, and an hourly rate. And that's init, not in nin. All right. And you're going to find that I wrote these differently for just about every one of them. Like I said, after a while, it just got to be a little much. We're writing the same program over and over again here. I think when I did this, I think I put the not outside of the parens. So this will be our range check here. All right. So, assuming all that worked, all right, that's everything that I'm inputting. Okay, but there is also one thing in here. Oops, sorry. There is also one thing in here that I am calculating. So I'm going to use something in here, and I'm going to look it up because I want to give you a better definition than the one I would come out of my mouth. I'm going to use an at property here. And in here, I'm going to define the gross pay. And I'm going to say if I'm almost finished with this one now. All right, so that'll handle the non-overtime. So this will be overtime worked. And just to show you a little thing here, it's not a big thing, but if I put a backslash here, I can go on to the next line and it's not going to complain. So hopefully it won't. All right, simply put, all this is in here. All this is I'm saying if they work no overtime, it's just hours worked times hourly rate. Otherwise, it's their straight time, which is here, is their 40 hours, plus whatever they worked over 40 hours, times the rate times 1.5. Okay, so nothing, shouldn't be at least, anything surprising in there. So let's do a file, save all. All right, I think we're done with that one. Let's go over to the employee manager here. All right, which is a little bit longer, but it's okay. All right, now I need to be able to work with the employees, so I'm going to import employee as emp. And now I'm going to have my class employee mgr, employee manager. And def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. And all I want to do in here is I want to create an empty list. Okay. All right. Now we're going to start writing our other functions. Now, this is what's bad. So I've got here, let's see. If it was a 1, we called add employee. Okay, so I want to make sure I use the same name. This is going to check, and if there was any type of error in here. In fact, this is going to check and say, does the employee number currently exist? Because you already know this, we can't have the same employee number more than once. So if that's the case, we want to raise a value error, and which says something like each employee number must be unique. Put \n there at the beginning. Whoops. Okay. Now, assuming that didn't happen, we'll say employee equal emp.employee, and we want to pass in the emp number, the first name, the last name, the hours worked, and the hourly rate. Okay. And this append just says add it to the end of the list. So this here says add new employee to end of employee list. All right. Again, if this was the case, in that case, it's an error. Okay, so that's adding an employee. That's the first one that we're putting in. Next, we'll have clear, I think it was clear employee list. Gotta get used to passing self into here. Was it clear employee list? Add employee, clear employee list, and the next one will be to copy the employee list. Now somehow I'm getting an error there. Copy employee list. Okay. Saying it's not accessed. I'll have to look at that one in a bit. So again, this will be self.employees.clear. That's it. The next one will be copy employee list. And we will return a copy. Next will be our count, and we call that count employees. Return the length of self.employees. I said a lot of these are nice and short. Get employee index. Let's make sure that was what we called it. Get employee index. Okay. And that needs not just self, but we pass in an employee number into there. That's the employee that we want to get. And we're going to use an enumerate to basically go through this list of employees. Okay. If we get through this and it wasn't found, we want to raise a value error because we're attempting to look for an employee that doesn't have that. We gave a non-existent employee number. And let's put in here, let's see, we have any other prints? No. Let's put a \n at the beginning of that. Okay, so that's get employee index. We're up to the insert. This will again be the employee number, first name, the last name, the hours worked, and the hourly rate. Like we did up here too, I'm going to grab this for the add. All right, now I'm going to fix this, but remember we're passing in a position, so we're saying where we want it to be added. All right. Same kind of thing, must be unique. And rather than append, we're going to do an insert. All right, so rather than add new employee to end of list, we will insert new employee at position in employee list. All right, we've got pop and remove and reverse and sort. Did we call that pop employee? That was insert employee. So when we just did, then we got pop employee and remove employee. So there's insert employee, there's pop employee, and in just a minute, we will have remove employee. Don't worry, we'll fix these errors. They'll all go away in just a minute. Again, we need a position because we need to know which one we want to pop. All right. And remove. This is where we're passing in an employee number. We've got reverse and sort left. Is that reverse employees or reverse employee list? That was reverse employee list. And the last one will be sort employee list. And that'll be sort. We'll be finished. All right, so for in here, for the reverse, print it's calling the reverse function. And for sort, it's actually not as tough as I thought it was going to be. So it's print and we're going to give it the key. and whether or not we want it in ascending or descending order. That should be it. All right, now, give me errors here, so let's fix this. Not just self here. Lambda, emp dot emp number. Okay, and we will set our default reverse equal false. So in other words, we're saying by default we want it in ascending order. All right, now I'm ready. That took over an hour, but let's just quickly see. Let's save all, let's run it and see if it works. All right, something is screwed up there. Let's go back to here and see if we can run it. No, invalid syntax. Man, line 1. Well, one thing that we did in here, nope, we left that in there. Standard in. Payroll. Oop list. Syntax. That's giving me an error from something we did earlier. Not sure why. So file, save. We're going to close everything. File, save. File, save. Let's see if I can close this. Let's see if it comes back up with that same error or not. If it does, we'll have to bring up something else. It's a history problem here. All right, let's see if we can run this. I don't know still if we can or not, so son of a gun. All right, again, it's a history problem, so we've got to do this. Boy, this is a pain in the behind. Should come up here with a menu from the non-OOP one that we did. If it does, I just put in a 12, and that gives me normal program termination, which is what I'd want. So now, can I go back and do the one I want here? That's not what I want. It's still saying, okay, it says history restored there. Line 1, what is wrong with this? It's giving me, this is not even where I am. I'm in payroll OOP list. Main, okay. It's saying that I've got an invalid syntax. Some reason does not appear to like these dashes in here, so let's get rid of those like that. Yeah, I can't do it because this is open rather. Let's close this. So that appears to be what the problem is. I don't know why that would be a problem. with code. All right. This is my first one. All right. Let's see if we can do some of this stuff in here now. See if it works or not. All right. So 1, I'll add a new employee. 100, I'll put in me. Invalid literal for int. That's the 1. That's the 100. Good gravy. I'm going to have to stop here and make a second lecture.